Here's JB Biunno.
I am just so thankful that we're able to provide answers for a family and give them that sort of comfort and closure.
A body is found inside a vehicle pulled up from the bottom of this pond in Lakeland, Florida, connected to a woman who vanished last year in the Tampa Bay area. The car found by a YouTube group specializing in underwater search and recovery. An incredible story here for you today, folks, on WFLA Now. Great to have you with us. JB Biunno here with you live across all platforms. Let's get right over to WFLA's Staci DaSilva joining us with some new developments on this story. In fact, a few more vehicles being pulled up at your location. Staci, what's the latest?
Yeah, good morning, JB, or good afternoon. We're here at Lake Christina. You can see here we have Polk County Sheriff's deputies digging through this pickup truck. Adventures with Purpose found this truck in Lake Christina yesterday when they were trying to find that car that was found in the retention pond in North Lakeland yesterday. They found two trucks in this lake. One just got towed away a couple minutes ago. This one is on its way. They said, listen, this isn't the Kia that we're looking for, but the sheriff's office might want to know what's happening with these pickup trucks. So the good news with these trucks, no bodies found inside these trucks. They weren't even reported stolen. So who's to say what happened with them? I don't know if somebody dumped them into the lake or a driver got out of the truck in time, but no bodies found. But yes, these trucks were also found by Adventures with Purpose, who are in town from Oregon looking to find a car belonging to Margaret Shoup Smith. She went by Jan. She did go missing last April. Her and her Kia were not seen since April. They basically go into these areas all over the country and try to find vehicles. They specialize in finding missing vehicles and missing people. They find the vehicle, they hope they can find answers for families, and it looks like that's exactly what happened yesterday. The Kia was found in a retention pond. Right now we're in South Lakeland. That retention pond was in North Lakeland. A body was found in the Kia. We were waiting for confirmation on the identity of the remains that were found, but I did speak to the family today. They are hopeful that they at least have some answers here, some closure, and they're so thankful to Adventures with Purpose, JB. Amazing work that this group does. Yeah, Adventures with Purpose, or they're following, their massive following on social media. They are known also as AWP as well. Staci spoke to AWP yesterday. Take a listen.
I had just massive chills. It was like we worked so hard. We exhausted all our resources. We looked in every single location. And then sure enough, it was the very last one.
We're here to provide answers for families that would never get them otherwise. And that's what our entire purpose encompasses, is the fact that we can give answers to a family.
AWP with a really incredible mission. Staci, you know, we talk about missing persons cases a lot on WFLA Now. This is a group dedicated to trying to provide answers underneath the surface of the water. In their description on social media, AWP, they use state-of-the-art sonar equipment to go to different parts of the country to help provide those answers to families of missing people. And as you heard a little bit in that sound, in that interview that Staci did yesterday and breaking this story on WFLA News Channel 8, they were looking in a lot of different ponds, Staci, in the area, and they go underwater, they scuba dive in the ponds here in the Lakeland area, and one of the last ones that they were planning on searching, that's where they find the Kia and the body that's inside, that's believed to be the missing woman from last year.
That's right, JB. They were here for 2 days. A lot of their work on Tuesday centered around lakes in the South Lakeland area. Jan lived on Shepherd Road, so they were checking areas around there. That was where she shopped. That was where she spent her time. So they were focusing on these lakes in that area. Of course, Lakeland, Polk County in general, has so many bodies of water, so many lakes to search. So then they got a tip from law enforcement that before Jan went missing that very day, she got in a minor car crash, okay, about a mile away from where her car was found. The sheriff's office responded. There didn't seem to be anything wrong with Jan. They let her go, and then that day she was reported to be missing. So the AWP team took note of that and started looking for bodies of water around that area where the crash happened, which is how they got to that retention pond in the Hunters Crossing housing development. Now, interesting about this development is that where that retention pond was, in April of last year, there were no homes there. There are now, but the homes were under construction. So it was basically a construction zone that Jan, we assume to be Jan, found herself in. That retention pond was there though, but no homes were around that area. That retention pond where this vehicle was found is not that deep. we're told that the car was found about 18 inches below the surface of the water, but it just never went low enough to be revealed.
Now, this is a remarkable story, Adventures with Purpose, really finding a needle in a haystack. If you look at a Google map, folks, and Staci knows this because this is her coverage area, this is her beat, but if you look at a Google map, a satellite image of Lakeland, there's a lot of lakes. In Polk County, just the entire area, it's just a ton of different individual bodies of water, beyond count, or at least beyond count for us. Staci, just putting away, I want to put away Adventures with Purpose just for a second. Remarkable what they were able to find in assisting out in this missing persons case. I want to talk about the Shoup family. Now, you spoke to them. Just give us an idea as to how long Jan has been missing, how difficult this has been with the family. You spoke with the family, so I'm just curious to know what this has been like for them, going such a long period of time without knowing what happened to her, and now, perhaps, if this is in fact true, getting the answers that they've been seeking.
Yeah, we just spoke this morning with Jan's older sister Vera. They are so thankful that this happened. It should be noted that Jan went missing 10 months to the day when she was discovered. 10 months ago yesterday was when she first went missing. And so they didn't know what happened to her. She said she would wake up every day, Vera said, she would wake up every day wondering, where else can we look for her? Where else can we look for Jan? She felt in her gut that her sister was gone, that her sister was no longer alive, but she just didn't know what happened to her. She didn't know if she got carjacked, and it was actually Vera's car. That Kia belongs to Vera. So she didn't know if it got carjacked. She knows there was a bolo, of course, out on that vehicle for the past 10 months, and nobody ever spotted it. So she didn't know if it went to some chop shop and would never be seen again, and she just didn't know if she would ever have answers. So she is sad, of course. She said it's a very hard day. It brings back a lot of emotions, of course, but they are grateful that they at least have some answers and they can try to move forward in life. I just want to say one thing. Vera said Jan was feisty. All the sisters were. There was 4 sisters. They were all feisty. They would go at it with each other, but there was so much love. And in a loving way, Vera said, oh gosh, I just wish I could have one more fight with Jan. You know, that was the relationship they had. But it was all love there, and it was feisty, and you could tell that they would go at it and then make up and have great memories together. So this family getting a lot of answers here. Of course, they miss her a lot.
It's good to hear a little bit about who Jan was. And we have the picture, Staci, here as well, showing her holding the cup, queen of everything. So maybe that's just a little hint as to her personality and the relationship, of course, that she had with her loved ones.
Vera actually gave her that cup about 5 years ago, so she loves that cup.
Well, I'm sure that the Shoup family, it's a complex set of emotions to finally get answers, but also now have that conclusion, or at least we believe that conclusion, of course. Now, we're going to get to some of the comments. For those of you joining us, we're live with WFLA's Staci DaSilva on the right side of your screen. I'm JB Biunno. We're live on WFLA.com, the WFLA app, and YouTube and Facebook. Hello to our Facebook and YouTube audience. Of course, as Staci reports, I look down here at your comments. We're going to feature some of your #HeyJB, #HeyStaci questions and comments over the next several minutes. So if you have a question for Staci, if you have a question about the story, or if you just want to give, a big round of applause for AWP, you can do so. Just use the hashtags that you see on your screen, #HeyJB, #HeyStaci. If you use one of those hashtags, we can animate your comment on screen. And if you don't want to be animated on screen, we'll just, of course, let your comments continue to scroll on by if you don't use the hashtag. That's a quick explanation of how it works. Deborah commenting here, #HeyJB. This is becoming commonplace. I know that there's a lot of waterways everywhere, but perhaps the Leos can practice water rescue or response once in a while in their local ponds and lakes. We're, again, going back to the lakes component of this. AWP, for those of you who missed the beginning of the stream, Staci is live in front of them pulling 2 more vehicles out of another body of water nearby. Staci.
Yeah, this is Lake Christina. This is in South Lakeland, where the car ended up being found yesterday was in North Lakeland. But the AWP team came here looking for Jan's car, that Kia, and found these 2 pickup trucks and called the sheriff's office and said, these aren't the cars we're looking for, but you may want to come and pull them out. Now, we are told, luckily, no bodies found in these trucks, and they also weren't reported stolen. So, good news there.
let's get to some more of the comments that are coming in, and thanks to Jamie Cook, photographer extraordinaire, for showing us some of the activity going on behind Staci here. David Fassel, hashtag HJB, why don't our rescue teams don't have this type of equipment to find vehicles? Will things change? So this is an interesting question, because we don't know we can't tell for certain unless, Staci, you can speak to this, but the commenter is in essence asking if AWP has this state-of-the-art sonar underwater search and recovery equipment. Does local law enforcement have similar equipment? It's impossible to check every lake in Lakeland, in Polk County, which is just riddled with lakes. So it's great that we have AWP coming in, but where does law enforcement intersect here with this particular story?
Yeah, JB, a lot of people are saying this. They're saying, how come this group could come in and in 2 days find this car and the sheriff's office didn't find it in 10 months? And I will say I talked to Doug Bishop, the head diver for AWP, and he said, listen, a lot of times we face people saying that a lot, and this isn't about what the sheriff's office is lacking. He put it like this. He said, they have to justify their decisions. They have to justify the equipment they buy. And yes, like you said, there are so many bodies of water and unfortunately so many missing persons. So they have to justify their resources. They have to go based on evidence, based on tips or leads that they have to go into that water and search. AWP, they say, doesn't have to do that. They can come out here and spend as much time as they want and dedicate as many resources to finding them as they can. They don't have to have evidence to justify going into a body of water. As far as why the sheriff's office doesn't have this equipment, I can't answer that question. I don't know. Sheriff Grady Judd did decline our request for an interview today, but I have sent him some questions and we are expecting to get a statement about this exact issue later today. I'll have that in our coverage tonight at 4 and 5 on News Channel 8. But definitely a talker that people are talking about that, about how this group was able to do this so quickly. But that's kind of the beauty of this group, that they can come in and dedicate that much time, all the resources they want, to searching any body of water they think may lead to answers.
Let's get to some more of the comments coming in. Just an overwhelming amount of love that we're seeing on social media for AWP. Let's go to some of the YouTube comments. Hello to some of the YouTubers joining us as well. Again, YouTube, the same platform where, of course, AWP publishes a lot of their videos and has earned such a robust following. We have Sam, Bev, Issa, and Gina G on YouTube saying hashtag HeyJB. Please tell everyone to follow AWP on YouTube. They are amazing. Yeah, Staci, maybe you can speak to this. They do have an enormous and a very loyal following. This is a group that really tries to make, as cheesy as it might sound, I mean, making the world a better place by using the equipment that they have, using the experience that they have to bring stories to a resolution.
Yeah, they have 1.7 million subscribers on YouTube. When I was talking to Doug yesterday, he made sure that I subscribed as well, because that really is how they do this work. I should mention it was a family member of Jan who already watched these Adventures with Purpose videos. She was already a fan. If you watch them, you just get sucked into these stories. So she reached out to them and she said, listen, my family member is missing and her car hasn't been found. Can you do something? So that's kind of how this whole thing got rolling. And when I talked to Vera, actually, Jan's sister, she said, I almost didn't want them to do it. I thought there must be other cases where there's more evidence, more leads. We really didn't know where my sister was at all, but the group said, listen, we're on a 45-day winter trip in the South. We're going to be in the South. We're going to be in Florida. We'll come look for your sister. Of course we will, in your sister's vehicle. So yeah, huge following on YouTube, 1.7 million subscribers, and that is how they get to do this work. They also accept donations and they sell merchandise to get their message out. So the more people who support them, the more work they can do like this.
How about this one from Emma Booth on YouTube? Again, hello to our YouTube audience. JB Biunno, Staci DaSilva here with you live. I love what the AWP team does. They reply all angels. I'm just trying to read this here. All volunteer based, and they want to help. Yeah, I mean, they want to help. And let's play back that sound one more time. Staci, this was your interview with them yesterday when the discovery was first made back in 30 seconds.
I had just massive chills. It was like we worked so hard, we exhausted all our resources, we looked in every single location, and then sure enough, it was the very last one.
We're here to provide answers for families that would never get them otherwise, and that's what our entire purpose encompasses, is the fact that we can give answers to a family.
And the story right now is on WFLA.com. All of Staci's reporting. Staci's really been first on this story, and you can find all of her work on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. Staci, I know you got a lot of work to do as far as getting ready for our newscast tonight on WFLA News Channel 8. You have a lot more to this story that we're going to be putting on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. Let me ask you this. We have been saying believed to be connected to a woman's disappearance from last year, of course, talking about Jan. When do we have any idea that the remains that were found in the Kia in the center of our screen here, folks, pulled up from this Lakeland pond? When are we going to get confirmation that this is in fact Jan Shoup, and that the Shoup family then has the closure that they have been seeking for such a long time?
I am told to be expecting an update from the sheriff's office at any moment, and I would assume, with all the attention this story is getting, that we will have an identification in that press release. I can't make a promise, but I am told that we will have that in the next hour or two. And JB, I do want to mention one thing. People may be wondering if any foul play was suspected in this case. There has been no word about foul play. We have a source that says there's evidence to show that this was accidental, that she didn't see this retention pond. Like I said, you really cannot see it when you're driving, especially if it was a construction zone. You can't see that there's a body of water there. It kind of just, it's down below the road. It's almost like cliff-like. You can't see it. So there's evidence to show that it was accidental.
Staci DaSilva on the story for us, everybody, in Lakeland in Polk County, Florida. And for those, we have a lot of international viewers too. Don't know where Lakeland is. That's kind of the middle ground between Tampa and Orlando, right in the heart of the peninsula here in Central Florida. Staci, I was going to ask you about, that was one of the things I was going to ask you about was foul play, but of course we're going to find out more on this story as sort of the day develops. AWP, I'll ask you this before we let you go, and I'll kind of leave you with the last word here. AWP, are they hanging out in the area? Are they still going to be searching this area? What's next for that group? I know that a lot of folks are going to be following them on social media, looking for more on this particular effort local to our area.
You know, the work continues for AWP. As I mentioned, they were on a 45-day tour of the South. They were in Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. They told me yesterday they were on to Naples, where another family was waiting for them. A family wanting answers, just like Jan Smith's family did. So as far as I know, they're on to Naples, in southern Florida.
WFLA, Staci DaSilva. Staci, one more time, what's coming up tonight on WFLA News Channel 8 and WFLA.com and the WFLA app?
Sure, we do have that interview with Vera Shoup, that is Jan's older sister, where she talks about what she's been feeling the last 24 hours or so. She will actually be going to the scene this afternoon, so we'll see her there. We'll meet up with her there. And she just talks about Jan, her sister, Jan, her missing sister, what it's been like for the last 10 months being without her, and how thankful she is for AWP. And we will have whatever the Polk County Sheriff's Office releases as far as an update on this case, JB.
We have a few folks on YouTube, and I've seen one or two on Facebook saying that they just went over to Adventures with Purpose to give them a sub on YouTube. You're one of the 1.7 million that follows AWP. So again, just a find that provides closure for a family here in the area. And of course, we'll be following Staci's reporting on Twitter across all of her social media platforms at WFLA Staci to find out if that press release does contain any pertinent information on the identification of the remains found yesterday, February 2nd, 2022, in Lakeland, Florida. Staci, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Of course, everybody, again, the latest on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. You can click on the link in the description on this video, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. It'll take you over to Staci's reporting on WFLA.com and the WFLA app. We'll see you next time, folks, on WFLA Now.